Alrighty then, it's time for another Elise game, and this one comes right after her buffs. Which one? They did it. They did what I said needed to be done. For Elise, I said one or two things had to happen with Elise. Either they buff up her ability to be more supportive, even though that makes her one-dimensional, just a stun bot, or increase her ability to kill people and reduce her supporty utility form so she doesn't get overbearing. Instead, they did both. So now she has a really long stun that she can leave as a 1-point wonder and then focus points onto her W and her Q. And they gave her the potential just to outright murder people. So she's got this whole stun insta-give motion going on, sort of like she had before, but now her stun is, again, a 1-point wonder. And honestly, it's kind of stupid, so... Riot logic, right? Either way, right now the early game isn't that great. I didn't predict Annie's movement perfectly, so she escaped. We catch Rengar, but not much comes of it. We do take his flash at least. Then Riven, for some reason, decides to fight against the Jarvan, even though it's very obvious I was there. She ends up having to burn her flash too, so technically this worked out well. We got 2 flashes for basically no effort. I was hoping for a kill, and maybe I could have been a little bit more aggressive on the Annie and maybe have killed her, but that would have been dangerous and under the tower and probably not ultimately worth it. Now, in the last video, I already did state what Elise is really strong at. She's good at picking people off. She's good at being this very well-rounded jungler who transitions well into at least the supporty type of role. And now Riot's made her so that she can at least go 1-for-1 on the enemy. Like if in a team fight I jump on the Lucian, I could probably just murder him without the enemy being able to do much and probably die right after. But, a jungler with less farm than a laner or an AD carry being killed being killed in response for theirs, a trade-off like that, it's more worth for your team. Though also she can end up going a little bit better, if you stun somebody, then you jump the backline or whatever. She got that little bit of playmaking. You actually see that happening in this game to better exemplify what I'm trying to talk to you about. Runes and masteries are actually different than last time. This time I have Magic Pen Red, Armor Yellow, Ability Power Blues, and Quince, and 2190 masteries, more offensive, and I'm even building Runeglaive, because now without my E having to take up so many points to make it really strong, I can invest points into my W and basically become this pseudo-assassin fighter like before. If I catch anybody, I can murder them real quickly. Although I am still very squishy, and I won't initially invest in tankiness, so it's very, very easy to kill me. Anybody who jumps me will murder me before I'm able to mount a response. And if I don't have somewhere to E2, I'll probably just die. And that's the other problem with Elise. She kind of always has to get the upper hand. Like in this case, catch Rengar, we just all open up on him and an easy peasy murder right there, right? But if I hadn't used E on Rengar, if he caught me, I would have died real quickly. By the way, I have to rewind it here, and this is just exactly what I mean. The Annie ran out of mana there. She couldn't fully blow me the fuck up, so she got murdered. I rewinded just to show Victor's cool little juke here, although it's Riven, so she's got a million dashes and murders in many ways. And here, I didn't even expect Yanni to be so, brave. She just flashes towards me, nukes me and everything. I use my E, I jump over just to get myself... I thought I'd be able to dodge one spell, but it just turns out she couldn't cast anymore, so she just gets murdered. This is quite the slow game, I can show you that. We got a few objectives already. I think we got Dragon, we're controlling the Scuttle Crabs. My teammates are farming a little bit worse than the enemy team. And my bottom lane, I gotta say this, my Graves apparently has never played Graves. Doesn't play AD carry, so he's going to make a lot of stupid mistakes, so he can be forgiven for that, but it's not exactly the best the best thing for morale, right? Having an AD carry who's unsure what he's doing. I think my Jarvan and my Jaina have already started cursing at him, so it's not been such a happy game. Here we go for Dragon, but of course I'm too afraid of getting too close because Annie just has her stun ready. I tried chancing it at the end, just trying to inch my way closer to getting the Dragon, but they secure it, and at least we kill Annie. This year, though, it kind of upset me. I pinged for them, let's go for blue. They're kind of not as strong as us right now, and Victor, which is powerhouse them. But instead, the team adopts to sort of come one at a time. I go in by myself and get murdered. I should have just cut my losses and gone back, even though I felt invading blue would have been smart. Then Victor goes in by himself and gets murdered, and Gianna's just throughout the whole thing insanely indecisive as to what she should do. So yes, like I said, Elise's win rate has gone up quite a lot. It's because she's become a fighter. She's become a fighter with strong utility attached to her. And that, again, is not something you really want to have on a champion who has a really strong early game. Because she gets to snowball the shit out of the game. And if she gets ahead, she'll be able to give people and survive the onslaught or whatever. She's too much of a toolbox to ever be allowed to have some really extensive power or something like that. I'll explain that a little bit. Just watch this fight. I get initiated by Annie. Nothing comes of it. Riven teleports in. So does Jarvan. He doesn't get to do much. And I'm sitting in the back line just waiting to stun somebody because I got a stun. However, Riven, again, is super aggressive and murders me, although she gets stunned. Jarvan's wall saves the Riven because Graves was unable to shoot her a few times because of it, and it stopped her from being gunned down. Fortunately, Rengar gets a little too greedy and gets himself killed, so it's not a total loss. Then Graves dies, and it becomes a total loss. So once again, this game is 9-9. 9 kills, and it's just so even. It's just one of those like super controlled games, and it's sort of how balanced it seems. In retrospect, you can see it. The enemy team has a 2,000 gold lead, but while we were in the game, we couldn't really tell that. I go in, kill the Riven. I'm in between the enemy team, but of course I have my E just to push out if something bad happens. We chase after the Annie. Nothing happens to it. She just survives with a little bit of health. So Lucian gets a little break just to pick up the Janna and gets killed as a result. Now Nautilus is trapped between us. I make sure to use my E only at the very end when he's about to hit that curve because he loses a tiny bit of space and we were able to catch him. He survives, but Rengar comes in and throws his life away. I want to reiterate that. I figured he was at the very tip of my E. If I had just shot my E, he probably would have just outrun it because it was very that far away. But that little corner causes him to move diagonally, which means he's not making as much distance away from me in a straight line. So I was able to catch him there. That's just something I've actually made a whole video about this somewhere else, about how curves and shit are your best friends when chasing. You gotta wait for those moments in which they have to lose distance by going around curves. Anyways, team fight happens. They can't actually catch me, though they burned a bunch of shit on me, and he burned her ultimate on me, and they didn't come up with anything from that. However, my team is also so disorganized. We're not sure if we should go in or move out. The Rengar is just hanging out by the outskirts. Riven tries to come in, doesn't amount to much. Rengar is finally ready to pounce. He pounces in, and my stun would have nailed him, but Janna blew him backwards, and I get murdered, but they murder Rengar in return. So it's a 3 versus 2 now. But 3v2 now. The Riven had run away. You can see her farm somewhere else. My teammates go for Dragon, and watch this. This is just not a good situation to be in, or not a good thing that the Graves decides to do. He decides to chase after the Lucian for quite a long while. It doesn't even get a kill. Riven shows up and tries to murder him, and he runs away from the Victor, the only one who could possibly help him. Riven survives with a sliver of health and because of this, because Victor tried to help the Graves, he dies too, so we lose positioning. We got Dragon, but to be honest, that huge trade-off was not worth it. We've lost map positioning at this point. We don't have as many wards where they need to be, and a few more, the enemy champions are getting even more fed. So yeah, this game's kind of turned into shitter. Watch this. I jump on the Lucian, and I absolutely eviscerate him. I dodge Nautilus's ultimate that he used to try to protect the Lucian, but again, to no avail. No matter what Lucian tried to do, he just got caught and slaughtered. And of course, you saw that I tried using my E at the distance. I don't know if I actually caught Rengar with it, but still. That's what the buffs did to Elise. Her little spiderlings are really dangerous now. Her whole combo potential is really brutal. I murdered Lucian, and in teamfights, if I can keep doing that, murdering somebody squishy, and even if I die as a result, it might edge us out a win. Like in here, I catch the Riven with my web, and then we just jump on her, and she just explodes. That's the kind of stuff you need to do with the new Elise allows you to do. Prior to this, she could still do that, but it didn't have as much oomph. More, like I said, because a lot of your power was diverted into making your E a lot better. Now that your E is good, rank 1, it's just so much devious power. Of course, I turned her myself into a tank because I didn't get such a good lead on her. Even though I have like 6 and 3, the enemy team is also really ahead in terms of farm and kill spread on some of the more dangerous champions. So I figured I need to make myself tankier to survive them. Because if I just went for damage, Riven could murder the hell out of me and I would contribute 0. Annie would blow me the fuck up before I did anything. So yeah, I had to go tanky. And normally I don't know if the new Elise build goes tanky. But again, in this case, I felt I had to. It certainly lowers my strength by a shitload, though. So my insta-giving potential of someone like Lucian is going down the further I build into tank. So we catch the Rengar, but actually they catch the Graves. He was trailing behind. You saw him; he was farming mid, and he says he somehow lost control of his character and couldn't move. But that whole shit, him getting caught and then causing us to be insanely out of position, got us wiped out and also lost his dragon. So here is an enormous turning point for the enemy team. They are now dangerously ahead of us. Even so, they were able to get a dragon, which was the only thing keeping us sort of, ahead of them in some sense. They're fed as shit on their most important characters, and we are so skewed in terms of power. Like our Jarvan is he's going some sort of hybrid damage thing, which is okay, but it's not doing anything to the enemy team now that they're tanky and very dangerous. We catch the Riven at least, so this allows us to murder the hell out of her, and that's a good thing for us. So now we're able to engage on them. The enemy blows her ultimate so poorly that we're able just to go all crazy on her and engage on her. Eat her brains out, and the Jarvan gets picked off, and then the Jonas went. A Monsoon helps the Lucian gun me down, and it's a 2 for 2. Then you can see the Rengar is just coming in, and he gets blown the fuck up by the Graves. I didn't catch that on camera properly, and then the Victor just managed to laser both Lucian and Nautilus, and we get a turnaround on their massive lead. So now once again we feel like we're sort of equal to them. 26 to 25, even though again they've got just a shitload of farm now, and their most important damage dealers are ways ahead of ours. But still, all it takes is us catching Riven or Annie prior to a fight, murdering them instantly, and then we should probably win these fights. But again, the Graves, I don't know why he thought this was a smart idea, but he walks through between both teams, the most dangerous spot to be in. He could have just walked the other way around through the safety of his own teammates, but he walks as close to the enemy team as he could and gets murdered, and it results in the death of the rest of us. It's such a terrible, that was such a terrible decision to walk through the valley of death that was that little tiny jungle piece. That's a really weird joke I tried to make and I failed. Sorry for that. So now, once again, my team is just so far behind. We got to try to muster some kind of comeback of some way. See, I got Bissell Scepter, I got a Haunting Guys just to lower the ability for the enemy team to get us. And watch this. This is a miscommunication from the team. I keep telling them, let's pick off the Riven or something. I actually grab her. We could have murdered her. But they go for Dragon, and we just get absolutely AoE down and destroyed and murdered. It's like the Dragon was not worth it. The Jarvan was yelling at us, if you only bursted it down, we'd have a chance. If we had bursted it down, we'd still be caught by the enemy team. We were trapped. They knew we were doing this. We should have jumped on the Riven as soon as we had the chance and killed her. And at least we would have to fight a 4v5. So yeah, this game went to the shitter because of a lot of terrible decisions. But yet we still have a chance because, again, we still can pick off the right targets and win this. We have a team that just goes through the front line and kills the back line, and then just hopefully the Graves is able to clean up after that. To be honest, if we had something more like an Ashe or a Sivir, this team comp would have been perfect. But alas, it isn't. Also, I get caught by the Rengar. This is actually a huge mistake on my part, and then I try to run, and he flashes and murders me. So now the enemy team is able to get a Baron for basically free, because we have no chance of securing it due to my death. So, damn. Now we're just kind of waiting for the next big fight. If we're able to win here in our base, we might just be able to turn it around. Unfortunately, my team is sort of uncoordinated, and one of my teammates is constantly asking to surrender and getting all pissy and angry and yelling at the Graves. Of course, he was dumb, but come on, chill out just a little bit. The Riven jumps on me, I survive. We go on her, and she's impossible to kill. She's got a Guardian. No, she doesn't got a Guardian. She just has one of those cleansing thingies, so she's pretty much impossible to kill now. I can't stun her, we can't give her. It's kind of all on Jarvan to initiate properly in some way. So, you can tell by the last 20 seconds of this game, we don't win. We actually will lose in a little while here. We're all just going to get murdered. But still though, Elise got really strong. Her win rate has skyrocketed, although I didn't help her win rate in this game. I just wanted to showcase her and talk about her. So, sucks for me in this game, but hooray for Elise for being improved by Riot. Remember to like the video to support the channel and to subscribe if you haven't yet. I have a few sponsors that are helping me maintain this channel, such as Loot Crate and Pro Build Systems. I have links to their websites on the description below. Use my code for a discount, and using my links also directly supports my channel.